It's Thanksgiving or Christmas Day. That turkey, it just came out of the oven. The smell of deliciousness fills the air. You have those drippings from the pan ready to go. Now, how in the world do you thicken the gravy? Let me help you explore 4 different ways to thicken a turkey gravy. I'll show you how to use a roux, a cornstarch slurry, a beurre manié, and cream to thicken a turkey gravy. Welcome to the Sauce and Gravy channel. This is Johnny Mac, and we're going to dive into 4 ways to thicken a gravy for a Thanksgiving or a Christmas dinner. Buckle up, let's go! Before we jump into it, I wanted to let you know that for demonstration purposes, I use the same turkey stock in every single example. That way you could have a really good idea of how each thickening agent affects the cooking liquid. When making the gravy, you can use any cooking liquids that you like. You can use a store-bought turkey stock or chicken stock. You can use homemade versions. You can even use the drippings from the turkey. I'm gonna have a video out next week on how to make a turkey gravy using the drippings, so check it out. All right, we're gonna start off our first example of thickening a turkey gravy with a roux. A roux is a pretty classic gravy thickening technique with equal parts butter to flour cooked in a saute pan. For this turkey gravy recipe example, I'm making it a thin gravy, so I'm using 2 tablespoons of melted butter or 16 grams and 2 tablespoons of flour or 16 grams put into the saute pan. For each of the examples that I'm showing in this video, I'm going to do a thin gravy. That way you can compare and contrast each of the thickening agents shown. If you'd like to know a little bit more about each of the thickening agents or how to make these gravies a little bit thicker, click that information link on the top right-hand side of the screen. One great benefit of using a roux to thicken a turkey gravy is that you can add an additional flavor layer to that gravy. If you cook the roux over medium heat for 10 to 15 minutes like I'm doing here, it'll turn that roux blonde. By making the roux blonde, it starts off the base layers of flavor for this Thanksgiving or Christmas gravy. It'll bring out a warm, nutty type flavor to the gravy. All right, great. So our roux is cooked. It's ready to go. Our thickening agent's done. It's time to add the cooking liquids. I'm adding turkey stock, 2 cups or 500 milliliters to the saute pan. I'm using the same turkey stock for each of the 4 thickening techniques seen here today. Grab a spoon, spatula, or whisk and give it a little bit of a mix. Bring it to a simmer over medium heat. Once it comes to a simmer, grab a spoon or a ladle and skim the top to get rid of all of the scum or the impurities off the top of the sauce. But after a few minutes, you're ready to go. It's a nice thin sauce ready to dive into. Give it a taste and then adjust the seasoning. Add a little bit of salt, add a little bit of pepper. Mix everything together, and then wow, you're ready to go. That was pretty easy, thickening a turkey gravy with a roux. Now you're ready to pour it on that turkey or drizzle it on those mashed potatoes. All right, let's hit example number 2, how to thicken a turkey gravy with a cornstarch slurry. Using a cornstarch slurry to thicken a gravy is a quick and easy way to thicken any sort of sauce or gravy. It's a perfect thickener if you're especially under a time crunch. If you're making a Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner and you don't have much time but you want to get out a homemade gravy, a cornstarch slurry is the perfect thickener for you. This is a thin sauce recipe, so we're using 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch or 11.25 grams and 3 tablespoons of water or 45 milliliters. Put it into a little bowl, mix it up, and it's a perfect time to make the cornstarch slurry while your 2 cups of turkey stock or 500 milliliters are over medium to medium-high heat, starting to come to a simmer. You can mix it up ahead of time, but right before you put the cornstarch slurry into the stock, make sure you give it a little bit of a mix because that cornstarch tends to settle on the bottom. When the turkey stock is just about to start simmering, grab that cornstarch slurry and pour it on in. Cornstarch slurries are not only fast and easy gravy thickeners, they also are a way to thicken a gravy without adding any taste. Once the liquid starts to simmer, then you're pretty much good to go. Remove it from heat. If you cook cornstarch too long, it'll reduce its thickening properties, so you don't want to cook it too long. Again, once it starts to simmer, take it off heat. Give the turkey gravy a little bit of a taste, then you can adjust the seasoning. Add a little bit of salt if necessary, add a little bit of pepper. And wow, that's really all there is to it. Give it a little bit of a mix, and there you have it. How to thicken a turkey gravy with a cornstarch slurry. Hey, and one more great thing about using cornstarch to thicken a gravy is that it's a gluten-free option. So we've explored two different ways on making a turkey gravy thick, one with a roux, one with a cornstarch slurry. Now let's look at how to make a turkey gravy thick with a beurre manié. Using a beurre manié to thicken a turkey gravy is very similar to the process used for making it with a cornstarch slurry. First, you're going to start off with your cooking liquids in the sauté pan, bring it to a boil over medium to medium-high heat. Beurre manié is butter and flour mixed together into a paste in a bowl. I'm using 3 tablespoons of flour and 3 tablespoons of butter mixed together. And once the cooking liquid, so the 2 cups or 500 milliliters of turkey stock, starts to come to a simmer, grab a little bit of a dollop of that beurre manié, put it into the stock, bring it to a boil. If it's the desired thickness, you're good to go. If it's not thick enough, grab another dollop, put it on in, give it a little bit of a whisk. Bring it back to a boil. If the sauce is as thick as you'd like it, then you're good to go. If not, then keep doing the process until the sauce is as thick as you'd like. If you'd like more information on a beurre manié and how to make a sauce a little bit thicker than a thin recipe, click that link on the top right-hand side of the screen for a little bit more information. Once the gravy's to the desired thickness, grab a spoon and skim off those impurities off the top. Now again, you don't want to simmer it for too long, 1 to 2 minutes. If you simmer the gravy a little bit too long using a beurre manié, it could bring out a floury flavor. So 1 to 2 minutes, you're good to go. And as usual, give the gravy a little bit of a taste, adjust the seasoning if necessary, add a little bit of salt, add a dash of pepper. Give it a little bit of a mix, and then you're ready to pour it over that turkey, drizzle it on those mashed potatoes, drown the stuffing in it. Oh, there's nothing better than a delicious turkey gravy for a Thanksgiving or a Christmas dinner. Alright, so we've hit 3 different great ways to thicken a gravy. Now for the 4th, how to thicken a turkey gravy with cream. A turkey gravy, it's really just a big pan sauce recipe, especially if you're using the drippings from the turkey. Using cream to thicken up that turkey gravy is the perfect way to make a rich, creamy, delicious, homemade gravy for Thanksgiving or a Christmas dinner. For this gravy recipe, I'm using 2 cups or 500 milliliters of turkey stock. I'm reducing it down over medium to medium-high heat for 15 to 20 minutes or until roughly reduced by half. And it's a good idea to grab a spoon or a ladle and skim the top for impurities while you're reducing the stock down. And this turkey gravy recipe, like the others, is for a thin gravy. If you'd like to learn more on how to thicken a gravy using cream, hit that link on the top right-hand side of the screen. Once the stock has been reduced, add 1 cup or 250 milliliters of heavy cream. Give the mixture a little bit of a whisk and bring it up to a simmer over medium to medium-high heat. When the sauce starts to simmer, turn the heat down to medium-low and reduce for 5 to 7 minutes. After the sauce has been reduced, you can take it off heat and we'll add the final touches. Off heat, we'll add a notch of butter, roughly about half of a tablespoon. Throw it on in, give it a little bit of a mix, incorporate it. This will make the gravy a little bit shiny. It'll give it a nice texture and look. Give the gravy a little bit of a taste, and then you can adjust the seasoning. Add a little bit of salt if necessary, then add a little bit of pepper. Mix it up, and there you go. That's how you thicken a turkey gravy with cream. Now you're ready to drown the stuffing with it, pour it on those green beans, smother that turkey with it. Ho ho ho! So there you have it, 4 different ways to thicken a turkey gravy for a Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and to remember as always, to live, love, and make gravy.